is the crack of dawn here on Tuesday morning, and I was supposed to be doing this video on Thursday, but of course we had a nice little meltdown last night, and here we are to talk about this instead of the part one of the expose of the girl with the purple hair, whose name I can't mention within the first two names of this video, because then they'll find a way to censor this video. But we got to talk about this because there's a lot of components here that, quite frankly, I don't think people are seeing right now. Now, guys, here's what I mean by components that we haven't yet seen. And don't worry, we're going to get to the meltdown here shortly. But this is the thing. I'm one of the old hats, or one of the, let's just say one of the middle hats. One of the guys who's got a certain amount of age where he's seen enough life to know exactly what's coming. A lot of you young guys have not really thought about this, and there's been a lot of thoughts that have been kicking around ever since last night about this entire ordeal. And I didn't catch wind of it till about 3 o'clock this morning, which, by the way, I woke up at exactly 3 o'clock this morning. Couldn't really sleep. I slept on the couch, and this entire thing was going on. I sat here and I thought about it, and I was like, you know, what the hell could possibly be the outcome of this entire ordeal? Because, as I mentioned before, there's always something that's not being mentioned, and there's always something that is, quite frankly, a lot bigger, or something that's about to be a lot bigger, that's going to be unveiled at a later date. Now, guys, I'm going to be leaving this guy right here. I'm going to be leaving 2 of his videos in the description box in the comments section of this video. I'm also going to be leaving the girl who originally reported this. I'm going to be leaving her live stream as well as the Timcast IRL special itself in the description box in the comments section of these videos. The reason why I'm doing that is because the first guy that I mentioned, he uncovered some stuff, or he reported some stuff yesterday that, quite frankly, I did not believe. And then I actually dug into it, and wow, this right here is a lot deeper than you might would think. And if you actually go and research his research, you'll find out that he's actually 100% correct, 100% spot on. I obviously am not going to mention what he uncovered, because next thing you know, I'll be liable for a lawsuit. But still, at the same time, though, we got to speak about the entire ordeal. Now, guys, here's the way this video is going to be broken down. I'm going to talk a little bit about last night. We're going to go look at some of the meltdown, which, by the way, is going to be behind the computer. I'm not going to be on the webcam. I'm just going to play about 10 minutes of it and be commenting on it, about 20 minutes of the video. Actually, no, I already did that part, so it's probably going to be right around 12 minutes of the actual video itself. I'm going to be giving you guys a clip from the live stream from the girl who originally reported this to kind of give you guys an idea of exactly how big this entire thing could be. I'm going to come back here and talk about the thing that, quite frankly, nobody else is actually speaking about, because there is, in fact, a boomerang effect here. And I'm going to end this video with a nice little story, so that way you guys can kind of figure out how it was that I was kind of led to the conclusion that is this video, and why it is that it is so much bigger than you might would think. But with that there being said, let's go ahead and dive in. So, guys, the thing about these super chats is that they, somebody like, say, Tim Pool, for example, is a millionaire. He's got a lot of money, so he's probably not hurting for cash itself. However, he does have to pay for staff. He's also lost some followers recently over the whole Adam debacle. We all remember Jack Murphy, the Liminal Order, and of course now you've got the purple hair girl, who is yet another grifter and is grifting off of other people. Now, this entire ordeal is not even really about her. It's really more about this censorship, because you've got people like Brittany Venti, Yellow Flash, you've got this guy Umbrella Man. You've got a lot of people who have reported on this entire incident, and they've gotten censored even though they have not actually violated Twitter's terms of service. They haven't even violated YouTube's terms of service, but they've been getting censored like crazy. This entire ordeal is, for the most part, about censorship. So when people are paying money, super chats, and I've already made my feeling pretty clear yesterday on that. Of course, some people think that, some people misinterpreted what I said. You know, the thing about super chats is this right here. I'm not the type of person who thinks that, I'll put it this way here. I'm not going to take your money for leaving a comment, okay? That's just me. That's just my personal decision, okay? If you think, okay, well, you're never going to get rich. Okay, this entire thing was not about getting rich to me, so don't even start with that bullshit right there. So here's the thing. When people are leaving super chats and they expect you to cover a story, you need to either A, cover the story, or B, you need to do the alternative, which, by the way, may be a little bit flakish, but at the same time, though, you can still get your respect back if you actually do it properly. Tim has been in news for a long time. I figured he would know how to do this. Instead, he chose to take a completely different route on this one. So what you could do is you could say, hey, look, guys, look, please don't super chat me about the purple hair girl story. Please don't super chat me anymore about this. That right there is Jeremy's deal. Yes, I know that censorship is a very, very big deal. Let me get all the facts on this so that way I can come out and give you my honest to God feelings. But for the time being, please don't send any money to me. Please don't leave any chats. Please don't leave any actual money or chats. I don't want to take your money. And, of course, if I have taken your money and you're a little bit upset, just email me and I will try to get you your money back. If you actually want the money, I will do that. Tim didn't do this. Instead, what did Tim do? He went up there, he got these comments, he got these super chats, and he decided to have a little bit of a meltdown. Now, guys, we're going to go ahead and go to that meltdown. We're going to come back. We're obviously going to watch the clip that I told you guys was going to be out, that I was going to put in here. And then we're going to come back and talk about the situation a little bit more. And I'm going to kind of unveil, kind of foreshadow or forecast the things that may be yet to come, because this thing right here, like I said before, it is going to have a boomerang effect. So let's go ahead and attention to the super chats. Make sure you guys pay very, very close attention to the chat as a whole. Tim, for the most part, kind of got ratioed there. The dislikes was a lot higher, which, by the way, you guys obviously can't see on my end here, but it was right around 12. And earlier this morning when I caught this, it was like 14,000 for upvotes and close to 13,000, between 12 and 13,000 downvotes. But let's go ahead and kind of take a look at this, all right?
North Carolina named after Sunny. If show up some Friday night. If show up.
Sorry about that.
I put up a poll, and I said, smash the like button if you don't trust Eliza Blue. And 89% said, I will like because I don't trust her. That means everybody who smashed the thumbs down trusts Eliza Blue. All right, well, that was an interesting, it's 13,000 votes. It's interesting to see that so many people came here to support her by giving us a thumbs down. Well, I can't say I'm surprised. A lot of people do support her. Scroats McGoat says, last night as a member, if Tim doesn't disavow Eliza tonight, get the out, Scroats McGoat. You can cancel right now and see you later. You will never wave money in my face and make me disavow anybody, especially someone I care so little about, Eliza Blue.
Tim, you've had Eliza Blue on your show twice. You dedicated a reporter to go out and actually interview Eliza Blue. You want to go hang out at her farm, so don't sit here and tell us that she does not matter. Now, a lot of people are saying that Tim, for the most part here, is... how do I say this? A lot of people are saying that he's running defense here. Some people are saying they're running coke. But I personally think there's something a lot bigger going on here that nobody has actually seen, which, of course, I'll mention on the other half of this video. But the thing you have to understand about this particular situation is that Tim, right off the bat, telling your subscribers right away, don't wave money in my face. Okay, you've had a lot of people from Jeremy in the cornering, people who actually subscribe to him. And by the way, Jeremy, I don't think Jeremy has sicked his subscribers on you, because there is a massive crossover between the two of you guys. A lot of people have been throwing super chats at you for you to actually report on the story. What you probably should have done from the outset is probably said, look, I'm not going to touch this story. If you'd have done that, or you could at least, at the very, very minimum, you would have taken a hit early on, but you probably would have recovered. What you probably should have done is what you should have said was, look, guys, stop sending money into the chat. Stop paying for super chats, because I'm probably not going to cover this story, and I don't want you guys spending your money on nothing. As a matter of fact, I'll try to refund you guys the money. Yeah, I stopped it. What Tim's face looks all stupid like that. But still, the thing is this right here. And like I said, if you don't want to report a story, then you need to just go ahead and come on out and say something. But people already know that you're lying, because she's been on your show twice. She's also been with the Daily Wire and stuff too, which, by the way, is going to feed into the next half of the video. But let's watch a little bit more of this.
She's been on the show 2 times. If you're going to cancel because I won't do what you say, you shouldn't have been here in the first place. Bye-bye. Don't let the door hit your ass on the way out. All right, what else do we got? DJ Zeno says, unsubbed on members only after over a year. Here's $5 FU for, I'm pretty bummed. Thought you stood against censorship. Hope you change. See you later, buddy. Look, sad to see you go, but I will never cater to a mob, and that's it. End of...
Tim, this is not really a mob, and I understand you don't want to cater to the mob. I understand you don't want to pander to it. I understand you don't want to apologize. So I understand 100%. Nobody's blaming you for that there. However, this is not really a mob. This is a lot of people who wanted a story covered that probably has some really big, potentially big implications based upon what we're finding out about this girl's connections and how she got to where she was. This is pretty big. And let me also say this really quick. A lot of people are saying right now that Tim may have he may have developed a complex where he thinks he's a little bit, how do I say this, like he's too big to fail. I think it's a little bit different. I think that even though he's not contractually obligated or he's not under contract with the Daily Wire or any of the bigger companies, I think what it is that Tim is trying to become like them. So he understands that, look, I've got to get into the club. So obviously there are certain things I've got to cover and certain things I can't cover. And I think that his stance, which, by the way, this whole entire ordeal is about censorship. There's a reason why I'm not mentioning the girl's name. Obviously, I'm a smaller channel, and this girl has came after smaller content creators. It started with Brittany Venti, then eventually it became the Quartering. Quartering, of course, does have a bigger channel, but as I've said before, what is going on here is this entire topic is mostly about censorship, which is something that, quite frankly, you claim to be against. But as I've said before, Milquetoast Fence Sitter, he's kind of letting the mask slip a little bit further. I don't think he's ever denied it, so people shouldn't be surprised. However, people should be surprised about the little meltdown here because he's never really and truly gone after his subscribers like this. And people are thinking, well, okay, it's a couple of subscribers. No, 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 no. It's a pretty big crossover between your audience and the Quartering, bro.
Eliza Blue is not important. She's not important to me. She's not a member of Congress. She doesn't enact policy. She is a low-tier internet personality that for some reason people are desperately obsessed with, and I literally don't care. So have a nice day. I got to say this. If
Really quick, before my Mac, of course, is using a lot of energy here, I got to say this. A lot of people are saying that this is defense. I don't think this is really defense, what he just said. I think that that's him going ahead and trying to demean the situation. And as I told you guys at the very beginning of the video, there's another component here that a lot of people are not talking about and a lot of people have not seen yet. This right here, to me, for the most part, is him demeaning the situation and trying to make the situation out to be absolutely nothing. Now, there are parts of what he is about to say here soon to John Rich, which is possibly true, but based upon the magnitude of the situation, I think, once again, it's just him trying to throw dirt on the situation, and the reason why is because he's trying to keep this from blowing up any larger than what it is. It's almost as if to say Tim kind of took a, how do I say this? Have you guys ever seen the meme of the person who's got his fingers in his ears? Like the person who's kind of like ignoring what the hell's going on, even though he knows his house is on fire, he's trying to ignore it. Everything is fine, everything is okay, but in reality, things are burning down all the way around him. It's this wouldn't be so super cringe if he had not done it like this. But as I've mentioned before, the biggest reason why he's in this situation is because he didn't put out a statement earlier explaining why he was not going to cover the story, or he could have covered the story. Either one would have been at least respectable, or I'll put it this way here. If he'd have covered the story, it would have been respectable. If he'd have chosen not to cover the story, but given us an actual honest-to-God reason why he was not covering the story, then while we would probably be a little bit miffed by it, we would at least someday later on in the future actually understand why he did not do this. But as I mentioned before, there is a much, much larger component to this story that people are not talking about that is probably going to happen over the course of this year, because I have a feeling this Eliza Blue thing is probably just going to get bigger and bigger and bigger.
Someone got banned off Twitter or any platform for a reason other than violating the terms of service, that's a big deal and should be taken up, and will be if it happened with the Twitter administration or the administration of the social network. But the personal stuff is, it's like, no offense, TMZ garbage. It's like National Enquirer. I mean, if you like it, oh God. But there's a lot.
Ian, I think you might want to do yourself a favor and shut the hell up, dude. Like, the one time that Tim allows you to look smart, you end up looking like a big jackass, okay? And this is really sad, because even though I don't agree with Ian on a lot, as a matter of fact, I probably agree with Ian the least of anybody on the show, I actually like him the most as a person, even though I've gotten some more information on him to kind of suggest that he's also a bit of a scumbag himself. But the thing is this right here. The moment that you are allowed to look smart, you end up looking like an even bigger jackass, dude.
Questioning you.
I don't care if people care about this stuff. They're allowed to. But, like, the idea that people are going to come here and threaten, like, I will cancel my membership because you're not talking about someone no one ever heard of. It's like, dude, I get that you know who she is. But you know what's funny about Jack Murphy and Eliza Blue is that here's what happens. People ask questions about these personalities. And I know most people listening are like, I have no idea who these people are. And that's exactly...
Dude, you platformed Jack Murphy. Okay, you platformed Jack Murphy. You had him as a regular guest on your show during 2020 and 2021. Okay, you've had Eliza Blue on your show twice. And like I said, this video is not even about Eliza Blue. This part is about the noise and the smoke. Dude, You've had her on your show twice. You dedicated a reporter to go out there. There's a lot of things that are coming out right now, some details about Cassandra that, quite frankly, are a little bit unsavory. I'll get more to that in the second half of the video. But the thing is this right here. Dude, you've had her on your show twice, and now you're throwing dirt on this entire thing, almost like you're trying to run from the entire ordeal. This right here is something that, quite frankly, you're not going to be able to run from, because most of your audience is subscribed to Jeremy and subscribed to other people like Brittany Venti and Yellow Flash, the people who have been affected by this entire situation. You're not only kicking dirt on the situation, you're also kicking dirt on a very, very large amount of your subscribers, bud.
Yeah. We had about 40,000 peak concurrent viewers. We get, 300 to 500,000 video viewers plus 100,000 on the podcast.
This right here is him
and then
bragging about his subscriber count. This is him
and the
bragging
people who
about
watch
his,
have no
maybe
idea
it is
what
too
the
big
people in
to
the
fail.
chat
I
are
don't know.
talking about when it comes to Eliza Blue or Jack Murphy. In fact, John, do you know who Eliza Blue is?
The only reason I knew is because I saw you guys talking about it one time.
One time we mentioned
I
in the
never
Super-
learned about her organically. No.
So what I think is going on, to be completely honest, is that the people who are claiming they hate her are actually probably a paid reputational firm to promote her.
Dude, I highly doubt that, man, because she's losing followers on Twitter. She's losing. I mean, look, no firm is going to pay for somebody who's damaged goods. No firm is going to pay for somebody who's losing followers. So let's just go ahead and drop that whole BS right there. This right here is a man who is, or a little boy, whatever you want to call him. This is a guy who is trying to throw dirt on the situation because he knows by not covering this, he's screwed up. And now he knows that he has alienated a good portion of his audience. And as a result of this, he's now got to cut bait and run. Now, this right here, this entire situation would have been avoided if he'd have simply either A, covered the story, or B, he'd have came out at a later date, and guess what he should have done? He should have said, look, I'm not going to cover this, but guys, please do me a favor, stop putting super chats asking me to cover it because this is Jeremy's story. And look, this right here may have made him look like a bit of a flake, but at least people at some point in time would be able to respect his decision. Now, guys, if you're asking me, what do I think will happen to Tim Pool as a result of this? Well, I don't think that this guy's career is over. I don't think it will actually end, but he will definitely be damaged. You'll probably see him on Fox News a lot more in the future instead of on his podcast as much. And I don't know if you guys have noticed or not, but he's actually covering more stories. So it seems to me like he's probably covering these additional stories to kind of recoup some of the revenue that he may have lost over Christmas. I'm not entirely sure about that, but I've noticed he's been posting a lot more as of late. But the thing you have to understand is that this entire situation makes him look bad because for the most part what he's doing is he's just simply throwing dirt on the situation that quite frankly he should have covered before, and he looks like a massive hypocrite as a result. Now guys, with that right there being said, before we go over to the other side, let me take you to the girl who originally brought this entire ordeal up. And it's going to be about 3 minutes, of course, from Brittany Venti's live stream. I'm going to post this so that way you guys can kind of get a better understanding of exactly what's really and truly going on behind the scenes here.
No, but seriously, like, I still can't access my Twitter account, by the way. I'm still locked out. Still can't contact people, promote my stuff. Oh, someone made a clip of it. I think it was Crab Crawler who made a clip of it. Let's see. We can pull this up. Here we go. Thanks, Crab Crawler. Their media players a little
Start reading them.
dork.
Jimbo says, so many came here to spread hate, not realizing their views and commentary help boost the algorithm for old Timmy Boy. You don't like it, watch something else, otherwise you're clowning yourselves. Well, I appreciate the super chat, and appreciate it. And then I put up a poll, and I said, smash the like button if you don't trust Eliza Blue. And 89% said, I will like because I don't trust her. That means
I like how
everybody
he
who smashed
noticed.
the thumbs down.
I like how he
trusts
noticed his likes
Eliza
were
Blue.
way lower than normal. Like, he 100%
That was an
noticed
interesting,
that. It was
it's
really
13,000
low.
votes. It's interesting to
relative
see
to
that
his
so many
normal
people came here
streams.
to support her by giving us a thumbs down. Well, I can't say I'm surprised. A lot of people do support her. Scroats McGoat says, last night as a member, if Tim doesn't disavow Eliza tonight, get the out, Scroats McGoat. You can cancel right now and see you later. You will never wave money in my face and make me disavow anybody, especially someone I care so little about, Eliza Blue. She's been on the show 2 times. If you're going to
Oh, he's really losing his temper here. Holy.
cancel because I won't
He's
do what you
seething.
say, you shouldn't have been here in the first place. Bye-bye. Don't let the door hit your ass on the way out.
Ooh, see, you guys know that I love like bantering with you, and I'll go off on you guys sometimes. But for him, given the circumstance, this is not the move. Your fans are already upset at you turning on you. He had the lowest likes relative to his other live streams in a while, and then he's like, "Oh yeah, well, fuck you." And I feel like he's just lashing out a little bit, especially with him blocking the quartering, and also he unfollowed Chrissy Mayer, I believe. So he seems to not be too happy about this stuff. $20 super chat from Theron Sinker. Check out Liza Blue's father, Rich Mortland. The guy's politically connected to the Republican Party, member Illinois General Assembly, so no wonder a certain three-letter agency is behind her back. Yeah, it's all very strange how Camelot tweeted that Eliza has FBI connections, and it's interesting because that implies that the Twitter files is not over. Remember how we were like, why is the government involved in this and censoring people, especially politically? Maybe some of those people aren't gone, it seems like. So, yeah, that's why I'm interested to know about that theory. Not just because, like, oh, it's a random conspiracy theory, but because there actually is some premise to it with the Twitter files involving government three-letter agencies, with Eliza's dad, who she claims is not her dad, being a politician, and also this like farmhouse that has a bunch of acres that she keeps using for mysterious things between trying to save trafficking victims, and then we saw no evidence of that, and then her inviting Elon to the ranch to, giddy up on the horsey, if you know what I mean. Jabberwolf, $5 through chat. Tim says Brittany works for a PR firm to ban herself to give Eliza more press. Yes, Tim is shoveling that crap. Wait, works for a PR firm to ban herself? I haven't had access to Twitter in 2 weeks. That's not exactly beneficial. Like, sure, people are getting awareness being raised about the topic of her manipulating and lying and having certain connections at Twitter. And we saw what the trust and safety head said, Ella Irwin, in regards to the situation. Implying that there's court documents or something. Like, I was never served paperwork by Eliza, so why is my account locked? That's really odd. And so this is a bigger issue, and me being banned on Twitter, I would prefer to be unbanned on Twitter, so I can get content and stream for you guys and access to my contacts. Like, I don't have everyone's phone number, guys. Like, I don't have a way to access everyone, so I can't even do anything or defend myself on the platform, especially when Cassandra, for example, Cassandra McDonald, his booker, was spouting libels saying that I was sexually harassing Eliza. And now she's on a delete tweet spree. She deleted all the tweets, and like a lot of them, if you look at the social blade. And it's kind of just really
Now, gang, I included that Brittany, that clip there. The reason why I included that clip was because I encourage you guys to go do some more research. This obviously is a rabbit hole that's pretty freaking deep, and I advise you guys to do your actual research. Another reason why I'm leaving those two videos I mentioned at the very beginning of this video is because there's a lot of things in that stuff that I did not know about, which quite frankly, when I did my research and saw exactly what I saw, and remember, it's not just one website you go to, it's multiple websites that you need to go to actually find the data that he's talking about. He's actually 100% spot on. If you do your research, you actually see it. And I was kind of stunned to see it. Now, guys, obviously I left some of Tim's conversation out in that little stream there, that little recorded clip that I had earlier this morning. Then there's some things that he quite frankly mentioned that I thought were being used to deflect. He was trying to say that there were bigger issues going on. We're going to World War III, Chinese weather balloons, price of eggs, price of gas, all that stuff there, which, by the way, is true, but at the same time is also a very, very convenient out. Here's the thing. Tim Pool has platformed who? Jack Murphy, and now he's platformed Purple Hair Girl. Now, there's a reason why I'm bringing this up. Now, like I said before at the very beginning of the video, the best thing he could have done was either A, cover this, or B, kept his mouth shut and then said, look, I will cover it when I've got more facts. Please don't send any more super chats. I'm taking money from you guys, and I'm not answering your questions. When I do that, I'll be glad to take your donations. That right there is something he could have done. He could have waited. He would have looked like a little bit of a flake, but he at least would have been able to explain the situation away and get some of his credibility back. Now, me personally, I don't think that Tim Pool's career is over, but he's definitely going to take some damage here somewhere, and some people are either A, going to unsubscribe or just not watch anymore. You're probably going to see a massive dip in his channel. Now, the reason why I'm about to bring up this next part, this nice little story, is because it kind of prefaces what is yet to come. As I mentioned before, Tim Pool has covered Jack Murphy. Turned out to be an absolute grifter. Murphy, by the way, has attached himself to Mike Cernovich, and he's attached himself to the Ron DeSantis campaign. Yes, I'm going political here because guess what? Politics is eventually going to come up in this situation. I guarantee it. You need to know how our media actually works. I'm old enough to remember how our media got so many other figures. I'm also old enough to remember the incident in 2016, the DNC, the WikiLeaks stuff, and how it was that they covered the Russian hack of the DNC, but yet for whatever reason, they completely refused to cover the hack of the RNC, which, by the way, happened from Russia too. Main reason why it was that I knew that Russia was going after both sides, not just one, and that the Russia hoax was primarily centered. This is one of the reasons why the media did what they did, because the media was just as culpable. They weren't reporting the other side of the story. And as a result of that, they created a whole Russia collusion hoax, the Steele dossier, all that stuff there. And they made everything political for the next 5 years instead of letting the country kind of cool down after a hotly contested election. Fact of the matter is, this right here is going to get spun. I'll tell you right now how I know it's going to get spun. Can't say the name. This chick right here has fashioned herself as a human trafficking survivor. Yet when you look into her past, you find out obviously she's not the victim she says she is. She's attached herself to Tim Pool. She's attached herself to the Daily Wire. How much do you want to bet in the next year that our mainstream media does not find a way to pull this same story up? How much do you want to bet that not only do they pull the same story up, but watch it be just as, if not more, or maybe even less detailed than what other people, like say the Jeremy at the Quartering, or Brittany Venti, or Yellow Flash, or Umbrella Guy, how much do you want to bet that they bring this up within a year? Not mentioning the fact that people on the right-leaning side, I don't know what Brittany Venti's affiliation is, but not knowing that people who are already somewhat more towards the right-leaning side of the aisle had already reported on this in full detail, and yet it was ignored by a major YouTube platformer, that person being Tim Pool. And now the mainstream media has a hold of this situation, and they are now using it against their political adversaries because she's a grifter and she attached herself to the right. I knew some red flags were there the minute I saw Jack Murphy begin to put himself near the DeSantis camp, but I just figured I would throw that out there. Now, guys, I'm going to go ahead and end this video now, but I want you guys to think long and hard on the very, very end, and make sure you guys look at the videos that I put in the description box. I'll try to put the Tim Pool, Timcast IRL segment in the description box as well, so that way you guys can kind of watch it, make up your own minds. I would say it's about a minute and 36, it's about an hour and 36, 37 minutes in before he even starts getting to the super chats, in which he starts going off on his subscribers. Now, with that right there being said, guys, make sure you guys hit that like button. I want to get you guys' thoughts in the comment section. Also, make sure you guys share this video, pass it around, and one more thing too. Social Justice Warriors, piss off.